Let's talk about Storm Bert. Absolutely outrageous this weekend. Terrible, terrible impact across the UK. One of the worst areas, Wales, described by the First Minister, Ms Morgan, as utterly devastating. We've got Liz Perkins, Welsh journalist, on the line. Liz, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Drive.
Hi there, how are you?
I'm good. Just give us some idea. I mean, look, I live on the coast, on the south coast. It was very windy, it was very wet, but this has devastated Wales and many areas across the UK, right?
Absolutely. It's almost like Storm Dennis all over again. It really has hammered places like Pontypridd and, you know, the east of Wales. You've seen Wrexham having landslides. It's just been absolutely terrible. I mean, it's caused sheer chaos in terms of transport, in terms of schools being closed, but ultimately there are a lot of families suffering right now because there's been mud and water all piling into their homes. And, you know, when you see them there on the streets, armed with buckets, trying to stop all the water getting in, it's just unbelievable, really, that they're having to go to those lengths. I mean, people are getting their wellies on today and are trying to brush out all this mess. And who knows when they're going to be able to restart their businesses, because clearly, you know, in some parts it's going to be a bit better tomorrow. However, you've still got all of this to deal with, and it's really heartbreaking, especially in the countdown to Christmas as well. I
think you're so right. Whenever you see tragedy like, say, a fire or a hurricane or flooding, I mean, to have your house, to have your possessions, and you made a really salient point there, it's Christmas, you know, it's the time of trying to make things nice and whatever, utterly, utterly devastating. The government, famously Labour, are they doing enough for people? I mean, I don't know, you're going to have to help me out. How do you say the First Minister, Ms Morgan's first name?
Ned.
What?
Eluned Morgan.
Eluned, not Eluned. Yeah. Eluned Morgan. Are they doing enough, the government, for the people, Liz?
This is the thing. There's been so much anger in Pontypridd because basically you had this issue 4 years ago where people had all their homes flooded. Again, you've had the same issue and people feel like nothing's really being done. I think what's really, really worrying about all this is that she turns around and says, oh, this is absolutely devastating. And in the same breath, she says, oh, there are some homes we're not going to be able to protect because of climate change. And you're thinking, if people have lost so much right now, and they're basically being told their homes are worthless by the First Minister of Wales, what are you going to do about it? Because they're not going to be able to sell their homes in the future if the government are unable to protect them. And clearly, it's just every year, certain rivers in Wales always get flooded. I mean, I could give you a list at the start of the year, what areas are going to be affected. I just think there should be funding and a proper strategy in place to actually protect those communities, because everybody knows, you know, places like Carmarthen are going to be affected because the River Tawe always bursts its banks. You know, it just happens on a regular basis. So why are you not looking at that? Why are they not sort of issuing a better advice and sooner as well? There's been so much criticism about the fact that it was a yellow warning, not an amber warning. And people had to basically turn around and say to their neighbours, you better move your car because otherwise it's going to be submerged, which is completely ridiculous.
I'm quite outspoken about the Labour government in Wales, so I'll keep stum. But I think if you pontificate about a lot of things that ideologically might be important, you should be talking. I say it all the time about this government. I want to know about how you're going to deal with knife crime, how you're going to deal with immigration. Stop pontificating. The real people are suffering in Wales. Actually, making it a bigger question for you, Liz. Rishi Sunak was quite rightly criticised. Donald Trump's been criticised. Many world leaders have been criticised for not going to the scenes of, you know, horrors straight away. No sign of Keir Starmer in Wales, because I would have thought our Prime Minister should have been on a helicopter first thing this morning or over the weekend, don't you?
Absolutely. I think the one thing that seems to be going wrong is I don't know whether his communications team is not really properly advising him or somebody isn't, because, I mean, when you saw the issues with the farmers protesting in North Wales, he basically went out the back door and said, see you later. And he just didn't make the effort with them. Now we've got a situation with terrible flooding and he's not there. We saw the Deputy First Minister, Hugh Davis, come down to see what was going on under the MP, Chris Bryant. But, you know, if you're the PM, sometimes you've just got to make the effort to go and just say to people, look, I do actually care about you. And this is a tough time. And I want to do something in support of you. And unless you show you care, I think obviously you've got that petition at the moment saying, look, we want to have a new general election. Well, I think the signatures are going to go up, because if you're not prepared to meet people and help them, then clearly people are not going to vote for you, are they?
You're a woman after my own heart, and I really appreciate you being on. Brilliant. Thank you so much indeed. Just explaining some of the misery in Wales there. Liz Perkins, Welsh journalist, making some really good points.